Hi there, and welcome to today's episode. Today we're going to be embarking on a journey through time and space, exploring milestones that have shaped our world and beyond. Whether you're here for a quick word lesson, a slice of history, or a cosmic adventure, we've got it covered today. So sit back and let's dive into just a few of the stories and discoveries that make January 7th remarkable. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for January 7th. January 7th is the 7th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, with 358 days remaining to the end of the year, or 359 if it happens to be a leap year. Yesterday we talked about the word aggregate or aggregate. Two pronunciations available there. And today we're going to follow that up with the word aggregator. Aggregator is a noun referring to something or someone that gathers, collects, and organizes items or information into a central place. You might hear it in the context of the internet, like news aggregators that compile articles from various sources, and data aggregators that collect and combine information for analysts. Here are a couple of example sentences. Spotify acts as an aggregator for millions of songs, bringing them to your fingertips. Or, the company hired an aggregator to streamline data from different regions for the annual report. Etymologically speaking, aggregator comes from a Latin word that means to gather together. First known use of the word aggregator in English was around 1512. Tied to its more literal sense of gathering things together in terms of a flock. Today, its usage has expanded, especially with the rise of digital tools. Aggregator. Today's word aggregator was requested by YouTube viewer at ddally8851. Thanks, ddally. And if you have a word you'd like to see in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments. We'll give it a going over. And with that, this is the birthday of Pope Gregory the XIII. That's XIII. Gregory the XIII, born January 7th, 1502. And why do we care about that? Because Pope Gregory the XIII is the very guy who commissioned what we now know as the Gregorian calendar, which I mention every day as I tell you about things that happen on this day in history. The Gregorian calendar corrected a few almost imperceptible but significant over time flaws in its predecessor, the Julian calendar. Flaws so tiny I can't imagine how they ever even figured it out, but they did, and since its introduction in the 1500s, the Gregorian calendar remains the internationally accepted civil calendar. Go Pope Gregory the XIII. He lived to the age of 83. Galileo Galilei noted his first observation of 4 previously undiscovered moons on January 7, 1610. He named them Ganymede, Callisto, Io, and Europa. Known as Galilean Moons or Galilean satellites, they are among the largest moons in our solar system, each offering a unique glimpse into the wonders of planetary science. Io is the closest to Jupiter and is dotted with hundreds of active volcanoes, making it the most geologically active body in the solar system. We reckon this intense activity is a result of immense tidal forces exerted by Jupiter's gravity, constantly flexing Io's interior and generating heat. Sometimes called Jupiter 1, Io is slightly larger than Earth's moon, is the 4th largest moon in the solar system, has the highest density of any moon, the strongest surface gravity of any moon, and the lowest amount of water by atomic ratio of any known astronomical object in the solar system. Io was named after the mythological character Io, a priestess of Hera who became one of Zeus's many lovers. Next is Europa, a smooth, icy world, slightly smaller than Earth's moon. Beneath its frozen crust, we believe, lies a vast subsurface ocean of liquid water and possibly a nickel-iron core. Sound like anyone else we know? The tantalizing possibility of an ocean beneath its icy shell has made Europa a prime target for future exploration. Also known as Jupiter 2, Europa is the smallest of the 4 Galilean moons orbiting Jupiter and the 6th closest to the planet of all the 95 known moons of Jupiter. It's also the 6th largest moon in the solar system. Europa was discovered independently by Simon Marius and Galileo Galilei and was named after Europa, the Phoenician mother of King Minos of Crete, and yet another of Zeus's lovers, Zeus being the Greek equivalent of the Roman god Jupiter. Europa has a very thin atmosphere composed primarily of oxygen. Ganymede, the largest of the quartet, holds the title of the largest moon in the solar system, is bigger than the planet Mercury and has its own magnetic field, a rarity among moons, along with a diverse surface featuring both ancient, cratered regions and younger, grooved terrains, hinting at a dynamic geological history. Also known as Jupiter 3, Ganymede is the largest solar system object without a substantial atmosphere. Like Saturn's moon Titan, is larger than the planet Mercury but has somewhat less surface gravity than Mercury, Io, or the Moon due to its lower density compared to the other 3. Ganymede orbits Jupiter in roughly 7 days and is in a 1-2-4 orbital resonance with the moons Europa and Io, respectively. Best we can tell, Ganymede is composed of silicate rock and water in approximately equal portions and has an iron-rich, liquid metallic core, giving it the lowest moment of inertia factor of any solid body in the solar system. Its internal ocean potentially contains more water than all of Earth's oceans combined. Furthest from Jupiter is Callisto, a heavily cratered and ancient landscape that has remained relatively unchanged over billions of years. Its surface offers a record of cosmic history and a lack of significant geological activity, in stark contrast with its more dynamic siblings. Also known as Jupiter 4, Callisto is the second largest moon of Jupiter after Ganymede. In the solar system is the third largest moon after Ganymede and Saturn's largest moon Titan, and nearly as large as the smallest planet, Mercury. Callisto is roughly a third larger than Earth's moon and orbits Jupiter on average at a distance about 5 times further out than the moon orbiting Earth. It's the outermost of the 4 large Galilean moons of Jupiter that we're talking about today, discovered in 1610 with one of the first telescopes, and is today visible from Earth with common binoculars. Didn't know we were going to have an astronomy lesson, did you? These 4 moons not only revolutionized our understanding of the cosmos in Galileo's time, but continue to intrigue and inspire each world with its own story to tell in the tapestry of our solar system. Back to Earth now. Congress set January 7, 1789 as the date by which states were required to choose electors for the United States' first ever presidential election. As you probably know, George Washington was elected, and this happened the following month in February and then sworn into office in April. With all this talk about Galileo and Jupiter's moons, space-themed songs stuck their little hands up and wanted to be talked about. So today we'll talk about Rocket Man by Elton John. We might have talked about this song before, but if we have, it's been a while, so let's take a journey back to 1972, when Elton John released one of his most iconic hits, Rocket Man. Written by Elton John and Bernie Taupin, this classic tune tells the story of an astronaut's voyage to space, capturing the emotional tug-of-war between duty and the longing for home. The song's inspiration came from Ray Bradbury's short story, The Rocket Man, which delves into the life of an astronaut torn between his love for space exploration and his family's desire for his presence on Earth. Bernie Taupin, Elton's longtime lyricist, wove this narrative into the song's lyrics, painting a vivid picture of isolation and the human side of space travel. Musically, Rocket Man stands out with his blend of melodic piano, atmospheric synthesizers, and Elton's soulful vocals. This combination creates a sense of vastness, mirroring the endless expanse of space. The song became a significant milestone in Elton John's career, reaching number 2 on the UK singles chart and number 6 on the US Billboard Hot 100. Over the years, Rocket Man has been covered by various artists and remains a staple in pop culture, symbolizing the universal feeling of isolation and the quest for meaning in the unknown. Its enduring appeal lies in its ability to resonate with listeners, reminding us of the delicate balance between our ambitions and the connections that ground us. Rocket Man by Elton John. Link in the description. Ooh, wasn't that fun? Thank you for joining me on today's episode from Pope Gregory XIII's transformative Gregorian calendar to Galileo's discovery of Jupiter's moons. Today's stories remind us of humanity's endless curiosity and capacity for innovation. Until next time, take care, keep exploring, and I'll see you next time. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That playlist lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page. It's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.